Good morning. This is Florida One News and Ryan Morales giving you the update from Tallahassee with our representative from House District 47, Anna Eskamani. Anna, take it.
Hey, thanks so much for having me today.
Awesome. Yep, just wanted to get an update from you on what's going on up in Tallahassee. I know one of the biggest issues that we are encountering is our Representative Barnaby in introducing the abortion bill. And just wanted to get your take on it and how we plan on diffusing that and getting rid of that.
Well, thanks so much for the invitation and for highlighting the importance of protecting access to abortion. Like you said, Webster Barnaby, a Republican freshman from Volusia County, has filed basically a replicate of Texas Senate Bill 8. And for those who don't know, this is the law that not only bans abortion around 6 weeks before most folks even know they are pregnant, but it also goes as far to have no exceptions for rape, incest, life of the pregnant person, and creates this vigilante system where people can basically snitch on one another and get a financial incentive for doing that. So if you hear that someone is trying to access an abortion after 6 weeks, or someone helped an individual access that abortion in Texas, then they could be liable of criminal charges, and you, the snitcher, can actually get a $10,000 reward. I mean, it's just so insidious and so gross. And so House Bill 167 reflects, this really extreme abortion ban. But what I want to make sure folks know, Ryan, is that the case in Florida is very different from other states. First of all, we have a strong right to privacy in our state constitution that actually has stopped abortion restrictions in the past. And there is actually one abortion restriction that is in statute now, and it's called 24-hour mandatory delay. And it basically forces someone seeking the option to end a pregnancy to meet with a doctor and then actually leave and come back at least 24 hours later. Texas is a mandatory delay state, so they have this currently implemented and enforced. Mm-hmm. Yet, despite it passing Florida law in 2015, it is still being litigated in the courts and has yet to actually be fully enforced because it's right to privacy. And then on top of that, there is a lot of public support for abortion access. Even among Republicans, there's definitely so much emotion in the subject. But at the end of the day, there is a consistency of folks believing that it's private and respecting that right to privacy and wanting to make sure someone can make decisions in the best interest of themselves, their family, their faith, their health, and not politicians. So that's the point we've been stressing for years. And in fact, bills like 167 have been filed before. It's not the first time my Republican colleagues have tried to ban abortion, but they don't pass. They don't pass for a reason, because I think they know that the public is not supportive, but also the backlash would be real. Like, if you're going to ban abortion in Florida, get ready for people to come out and vote you out in 2022. And so, to the heart of your question of what do we do? I'm happy to dive deeper into this, but of course, contacting your state lawmakers, building that pressure, come out to marches and direct actions and protests, but also talk to your family and friends. We have to break abortion stigma and share our stories to help ensure that the shame that is used against us is actually one that lawmakers feel when they try to ban abortion.
Well, and it's so interesting to me that it's usually men that introduce these bills, number one. Number two, it's really, it doesn't talk about women in general. It doesn't give a voice to the woman in this situation. It's always constantly about some imaginary thing. And it's but wait, there is a woman involved here that needs to be heard. And we're not listening to them. And we're just constantly no, they need to do what we say and that's it. And I don't think that's right. I personally feel that we need to really just take a step back with some of these bills and be like, all right, what are we doing here? And what is the real agenda? At the end of the day, these folks are just looking for brownie points with this base that just is salivating when they hear these things. And it's sad because it's not really an issue that I consider being an issue that's of importance in the matter of climate change, where it's affecting us, where we're getting, streets of Miami are flooded and places right. are just having issues that are affecting taxpayers and tourism and red tide. These things are a matter of urgency, not this. And this is a constitutional
Absolutely.
right that's been there for over 50 years with Roe versus Wade. I mean, the 14th Amendment right now is in danger with people like Barnaby and these bills in Texas and these other bills that are popping up all over the country. They bash us for going after the Second Amendment and trying to make changes to that, but here we are, they're going after the 14th, and then we're the bad guys, but they're
Right.
not. I don't get
Right.
it.
I mean, you're spot on about it being a distraction, right? Like, because there are, honestly, for me, a lot of it is a distraction from the system, because one reason how Republicans maintain power is by pursuing culture wars, and like kind of these outlandish, now controversial issues like critical race theory and so forth. They really go to the extreme for like painting these like fake enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do those distractions while they also give money to corporations and pass these tax breaks, and so I think some of the biggest issues is like campaign finance, money in politics, the influence of corporations, the tax breaks they get, but all the airtime gets caught up with other issues because it's designed that way. They don't want voters to actually realize that they're getting screwed over economically with these policies that they pursue. But I think what's unique about the fight for abortion access is I don't consider it to be a culture war, because it is a real life need, right? Compared to some of these like fake boogeyman type of scenarios, like stripping away someone from their ability of bodily autonomy, from being able to access an abortion, is an economic justice issue. It's a reproductive justice issue. Is absolutely tied to constitutional rights as well, and it's about respecting individuals, especially women, to make their own decisions. And so I think it's an issue that, historically speaking, Republicans in Florida haven't wanted to touch because they know that voters don't agree with them. And so to that point, the rumors we're hearing in the Florida House is that 167 is not the bill that's actually going to move. So I really do want listeners to be aware of that, and to be clear that we stand against any new restriction on abortion, because the legislature has done this before. Well, they'll roll out the most extreme version of something when the one that actually passes, or the one that starts moving, is less extreme. Yeah. So it's almost like we're supposed to thank them, and it just blows my mind. Like, that's such a manipulative relationship. And so I've been making it clear from the beginning is that we don't support any new restrictions on abortion, because I refuse to be taken for granted in my stances for the assumption to be that I'm willing to make concessions. Like, this is a non-negotiable. There should be no new restrictions on abortion access in Florida.
No, we should actually be making it easier, as a matter of fact, because we do have a problem here with sexual education. I mean, it's kind of nil or not there really for a lot of these kids. So, we need to make this more accessible so they're not causing problems or doing things that they shouldn't be doing, as some of these parents might put it. Because really, at the end of the day, if you educate, you don't have problems. That's the one thing I've always learned. If you teach people what's right and wrong, or just teach people in general what the consequences are, they'll understand better, and they'll avoid it. But if you just kind of let them all go and say, here you go, have at it, then you're just going to create problems. But yes, right. We need to protect abortion. It's really just basically women's rights. Women need to have a voice. Women need to be able to do what they need to do and feel is right, based on their art, their conversation with their doctor. If it's a faith thing, it's a faith thing. That's on their religious beliefs. Not everybody else believes the same thing, so it's not right. So like we always say, if you don't like abortion, don't get one. It's as simple as that, and ignore ignore the procedure, because it's really just more about distracting you from what's really going on, which is voter suppression, more cronyism. We got a Surgeon General that is a complete quack, and it's really sad. This place needs a lot of help right now, and we have people playing politics for no reason when we have lives on the line. So I want to thank you again for the quick update on this. I know it's a huge conversation piece, and I know we could go on for hours here with this. So, is there anything else you'd like to add? What people should really be on the lookout for with what's coming up in Tallahassee?
Well, thank you again for amplifying this issue. The only thing I'll add is the need to maintain energy from now up until the end of legislative session and then into election year. And to also be mindful that on December 1st, Supreme Court of the United States will be beginning the oral arguments for the Mississippi 15-week abortion ban. So we have federal issues at hand along with state. So definitely keep tabs on both, and we're always here to help keep folks in the loop as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Again, can you let folk know where they could donate to your campaign?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can keep up with us on all the social media outlets at Honor for Florida. And then our campaign website is honorforflorida.com. And you'll see the donate button right there if you are in a place to give. And we always appreciate support of any size.
Well, thank you very much, Anna, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Ryan.